No. I'm just saying that we like you. Like, I'm not saying I want you to be my girl and we got to move in together.
I mean, like,
but
just because it's not traditional doesn't mean it doesn't have to be committed, right? Like, I think that's the idea that you're saying is that somehow because it doesn't look the way that people expect relationships to look, that it's not a serious situation. But I could only be dealing with you and running a Fortune 500 company, and I ain't got time to fuck with nobody at home, right? And so it works for me. And I know married couples who don't live together, right? There's all
Really?
types of things that it's like
married
whatever
couples that
works
don't live
for
together.
because really we live in together a lot of times to raise kids together.
Yeah.
That's really what makes the most sense for like why you have to live together. If you didn't have children,
I think I would love to have my.
And
I was thinking to myself, but my thing is like, because I always said like, hey, no matter what, if I'm married, I'm still gonna have a second spot, whether it
By
be
yourself?
whether it be an apartment, whether it be
Why?
a house, depending on like my finances.
Does she have a key?
See, I don't know what type of fly was in here, but like I don't think so. No, like because the fly in the room was in my business, and I don't like that.
that was the same fly earlier.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Because like I need my private space, right? And I don't need you to violate it. I don't care like if it makes you uncomfortable. I just need a place where I can decompress without people and without you, right? And that's just how I am. So if I don't have that, like I don't like feeling suffocated. I don't like feeling like at any moment I could be having a moment to myself, listening to music, chilling in my little Zen mode, and then you walk in and I'm like, damn, it's nothing against you, but this was for me. And I feel like I need that. Maybe if I can get a pool house, that'll work too, right? Or a basement with a lock that is a tunnel. Like,
Not a tunnel and a lock.
Because I don't want to hear you knock either. Like I need to be
So
secluded.
you can't come to the apartment, is what you're saying.
No,
Don't even knock on the door.
Now you can like. Here's the thing: you'll be able to come, but you're definitely not gonna get a key, right? And there'll be
How much space do you need?
I was gonna say a room isn't enough, is what we're
800
learning.
square feet. Okay, that's it. A small apartment, studio, whatever it may be.
If you had like the Will and Jada situation where they were like, we were divorced, but we lived in separate wings of the house.
separated?
No, see,
I mean, sorry, you're right. I said divorce, slip of the tongue.
no.
Separated.
There's no separation here. That's the only. Like, there's no separation.
No, this isn't a healthy relationship. You're saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, even in a healthy relationship, if you had your own wing, would that be okay? Or because
Yeah.
it's connected to the house, is that
No, my own. Well, the wing is. If we're
'Cause I
talking,
can still run over to the wing.
if we're talking about Will and Jada,
We still in the same building.
Are you going to create a door that separates the wings?
yeah, because like I need. You have to have permission. You have to ask for permission. Once I get to a place where I want my personal space, I require you to ask for permission for me to step out of that realm. Because this is a moment for myself, whatever it may be. I could be sitting there watching conspiracy theories on YouTube. It doesn't matter what it is, but I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be interrupted. And when I hit that mode, or you know what I'm saying, I just want you to be like, hey, listen, are you busy? Like whatever. Like then I'll like, you know what I'm saying? I'll say okay, but if not, like you can't just walk into like the wing. You can't just walk in and just be like,
So-
hey, I need you to take the garbage out.
trash out.
I'm like, yo, bro, like,
Okay.
nah, fuck that. Like now I'm about to explode because like that was the most.
You needed your time.
Yeah, I just
That
need my
was your
time.
safe space.
Yeah, like, and that's what I need. So,
Mm.
but I don't know if I'm gonna have a left wing and a right wing house. But I know I can afford 2 apartments, if not a house and an apartment, right?
That you have your space. So
Yeah.
So this whole conversation so far, it sounds more like creating moods, right? People underestimate moods. I even underestimated moods a long time ago, but I didn't even realize how the best of the best, when I say that, is like people who are like players and stuff like that.
Mm.
The way they get into these women's hearts, and the women the same way too, they get into these men's heart, they create a mood. You know,
Sure.
like going on vacation creates a mood. Having your own space away from your spouse creates a mood. So if we're talking about moods, and I know you said that you wanted to talk about pleasure mapping and everything else, why is it so difficult, you think, for people to create a mood? Because I'm not in the mood to create a mood.
Well, it's interesting because I think a lot of us don't slow down very often. And in order to like really love yourself, like tell people how to love yourself, you got to feel yourself. Really. Like, I mean, literally, can you feel what you like? Because if you think about sex literally, the thing that tells you what you like is just a feeling. The thing that tells you what you don't like is just a feeling. If you have attachment to that actual experience, you can go, yeah, no, not that. That. Yes, more of that. And if in our lives we have attachment to that feeling, it's almost like living life a little erotically, right? Like I just kind of want to tap into the thing that makes me want to do that, right? So if I'm looking at something and I'm drawn towards it, does it just stay here? Or can I actually start to turn it into something that's like building tension and interest and intrigue? Because a lot of what we like is tension. It's not even the actual relationship. It's like, ooh, I like you from over there. And I'm thinking about you, all day. And now I've been thinking about this thing that I saw earlier. That tension is what makes a lot of us really like the situation, right? And a player is good at building tension. Even somebody coming close to your face and not touching you. It's like, ooh, you know what I mean? There's something about that that's almost more appealing than somebody just coming and touching you. But I think people lose that nuance, right? They don't get that it's not about the touch. It's about the tension. It's about the actual like getting aroused before you touch me. Because if you touch me, you do the same thing to me when I'm not aroused, like biting. You bite me and I'm just sitting here like, what? Are you crazy? Right? But like, if I'm already in it, we already built it up, right? Through different sensations and intensity or whatever. That bite might be a little different. That might hit a little different, right? And that's really what a lot of people don't get is that thing that tells you that's what's right for me. It's a little different for each of us, but it's always around.
Imagine choking. I mean, I just
like just without any, I didn't know build up. That's abuse.
when you said
you can't do that.
I was like, it depends on the
You gotta have the right context.
How do you time that? It just sounds like a difficult thing to time.
There's advice to schedule sex, and some people are really like, that is the least sexy thing in the world.
It is,
Wait,
but
it's least
don't
sexy?
you guys? I feel like
like
tension is
scheduled
something
sex.
you guys
I was
feel.
gonna
It's
say,
a
it is a
connection.
good idea.
It's an electricity. Like, don't people tension? Like, don't you feel when you have sexual tension with someone?
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that you have to time. I don't feel like you just know when it's there.
If that's what happens organically, but I think the reason why we did the pleasure mapping workshop is because some women never stumble into their best case scenario. Right? You might be like, this is a good guy, right? He's good on paper, has a good job, treats me well, da-da-da-da-da.
There we go.
And the sex might just be blah. Right. so the thing is that a lot of us are like, but the magic, the chemistry, it just should be there. And it's like, but what if it isn't? Is sex a skill or is it like a magic thing that we just should be stumbling into? A lot of women would let you know it is a skill. Yeah. That they could have told somebody how to do better, but they were worried about how that would sound and what it feels like to say no and what it feels like to hurt somebody's feelings. And a lot of women are much more sensitive to being rejected than men. So if a man doesn't like something, he has a very hard time explaining to a woman why it is that he doesn't have his erection anymore. Right? Like, because I know women who take that very personally.
Like, yeah, my dick don't get hard for you, shorty.
Right. Well, how are we having that conversation? If that's the conversation.
Well, really, because you just out of shape and you wasn't when I was fucking you.
Well,
damn, Rico.
Right. Well, that's rude.
Because
I can't just get in shape immediately.
Well, you got about 30 days, shorty.
Because I always thought about that, right?
Sick now.
Right now, I got body image issues.
But that's not fair to us because now, like, you become an anorexic because we were just being honest. Like, listen, when I met you, you was a size 4. I liked size 4s. Now you a size.
New Jersey Public I was about to say, what education system?
Well, first of all, I corrected.
Jersey Public Schools.
Wait, time out, Aaron. I corrected myself. She ran with it. Right?
Actually, you're right.
But and let's say now no shade to the size 10 women, right? But now you're a size 10. But I was
for the record, it's not a very big size.
I don't even know, right? Because I have zero clue, but I do know that 4 and 10 is different, right?
Sure.
It's 3 sizes. It's a big jump.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say if I was attracted to size 4s, size 4s, right? But now you're a size 10, and now my erectile dysfunction is kicking in. It's like, well,
wait, but if it's ED, that's a you problem.
Is it?
But sometimes it can be, and sometimes it's a combo. Like somebody could be watching too much porn, for example,
Maybe I'm watching porn because I'm watching size
always
4s.
tied that issue with porn.
Well, so
Even though that's probably not always the answer.
Will tell them watch less porn because it's
like-
affecting
like,
how much you're able to get aroused in actual sex. Which is like people would tell women, hey, you know, or men, if you're masturbating 4 or 5 times a day and then you go have sex, the sex will feel different.
Who's doing that?
I said that.
People who really enjoy pleasuring themselves.
Listen, fellas, I'm gonna tell you, like, you have
That's a
too much
lot.
time if you're masturbating 4 to 6 times a day. Like,
I was just talking about this. Chris is my boyfriend. I was just talking about this in the car. He was saying that 33% of men masturbate at work.
Like in the
that's
bathroom.
a charge.
I don't know where they doing it at, Aaron. I can't tell you I know where they at. I hope in the bathroom.
I've seen people on
But-
the airplane doing.
Airplane, libraries. But I'm just saying, people be doing it more
I'm not gonna
often.
lie, I've definitely beat my dick at work before, but
And we found the 1 in 3.
it's not often. It was like, yo, like, you feel me? I was supposed to rock out last night. Shorty flaked, so I've been up all night.
Stressed all day.
So I'm like, yo, let me
you
rub
could've
this
beat-
shit out so I
You
can.
could beat it before you got to work.
Nah, I thought I could last, and then when I got to work, I was irritable, and I'm like, I just gotta rub this shit out, like,
But then, you know, it's like,
Fair enough.
you know what I'm saying?
if you
Came
do
out
it-
a whole new
if
man.
You're doing it a lot. If you really masturbating a lot, I know, the visuals. But if you were masturbating a lot, it's kind of like if you use drugs a lot. Like if you were to smoke weed once in a while at a party, you're high, right? But if you smoke weed 4 or 5 times a day,
Smoke
right,
out.
it's a different feeling. And it's the same thing with anything. If I'm a little lactose intolerant, we probably all a little lactose intolerant because we Black. Now, if I like ice cream, I can have some ice cream, right? And like it'll be all right if I have a little ice cream. But if I go in on that ice cream, like I'm not gonna feel good. It's a whole different outcome. That's why really when they talk about moderation, that's why they talk about it. Because anything pleasurable is not pleasurable after a while if you do it in sort of a way that's like
Abusive.
it's almost like numbing by using pleasure,
Yeah.
right? Like you're almost numbing out.
So I've heard this before, and I've always been curious about this. I've heard that people who do drugs, because sometimes I'm not saying this is true. I'm not a no drug addiction expert, but sometimes they'll substitute a lot of their bad behaviors for meditation, becoming Buddhas, and they find a high in that.
That if somebody has like an obsessive personality,
Yeah.
basically, or an addictive personality, they'll just trade one thing for another.
But,
Yeah, I've heard that.
being like a Buddhist type of person seems like a healthy thing, right? But what I'm asking is like, I always thought like when women be like, well, I took him to the bed and his wasn't going, and I always thought in the back of my head, he probably goes to the bathroom and he probably doing his thing properly. Maybe he's just not turned on by it. Not my situation, right?
No.
But what I'm saying is like, definly not. But what I'm saying is,
Saying today, not his situation today.
don't put your mouth on me, woman. So what I'm saying is like, in general, why is it like, what is it like? Men are always expected to get you guys there. Why is it that society never expect you guys to get us there?
Because you always get there. Because you're always getting there.
I don't
that's
really,
why people don't worry
I don't
about
really
it.
think that that's the truth, though.
Really,
Not
Alan?
fair.
That's not the truth.
Didn't we speak about what it takes to make, generally, when we said 18% of women can have an orgasm via vaginal stimulation, whereas 60% may have through clitoral stimulation, right? The thing that you know is that a man is going to orgasm 90% of the time.
Oh, but Marie, I'm not talking about the orgasm part.
But
I'm
you
talking
know-
about the excitement
But getting
part.
like,
The excitement.
Yeah, because in all honesty, right? This is being honest. I don't know if women know this. There are some men, well, not even, I would say, if not all men,
Many.
many
men.
men
Many
Literally
Many,
men.
many men.
Many men can go 2 or 3 rounds with the woman that gets him there and keeps him there.
Facts. This is true.
Some girls, once it don't matter if we nut fast, it don't matter if it was, we nutted in an hour.
Yeah.
That's all she's getting. Some women know how to get us there and keep us there, and that's when you hear we was fucking all night. Now, if going back to what Alan's saying, if women took that into consideration, it's like, okay, cool. Why is your man only giving you 1 round? It's really because you're not keeping him in the fight.
Probably because he has a 40
I just feel like that's a
inch,
generalized statement.
Waste.
What is that?
No, not necessarily
That
that.
man is lazy.
Amanda, but here's where I'm going with this. What I'm trying to say is that
he's
I
That
think
man is probably lazy.
no.
That's a very generalized
they,
statement.
They had on the shade. First of all, they had on the shade room, right? I don't know how, but they had on the shade room that men who are bigger tend to have more endurance in bed than men who are slim.
Because they've been carrying around all that weight. They got that lower body strength.
No,
They got that lower body strength together.
because they know most likely this is all they got. So I'm gonna keep it
We
here
just assuming women don't like bigger men.
because if we had to come on, let's be real.
What?
We take the top notch overweight dude, the top notch fit dude.
I feel like
who's
it's
getting more.
I'm pretty sure if Marie looks up the stats for this, I don't know how reliable Google stats would be for this, but I'm pretty sure there's a higher percentage of men that aren't attracted to bigger women than there are women that aren't attracted to bigger men.
I could agree with that.
Yeah, it's like a type.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because
Women are
you're
like
saying
big dudes
that
before big dudes
they're
like
compensating.
big girls.
exactly.
Big
Yeah.
dudes
But
also need to have a lot of other things.
But I think
Sometimes-
that it's always
Personality.
agreed upon that
Comedy,
men are more visual.
Men are
Right.
more
Well,
visual.
no, yeah,
Some of them are just
definitely.
big, but they can't just be big and boring. I could be fit and boring. You can't be big and boring. You can, but I'm probably gonna have better odds being fit and boring than you being big and boring.
But before we move away from this, what I'm really trying to get at,
Exactly.
Don't
wants to be
sound
big and
right, like, please.
That's the B&B.
what I'm really trying to get at, I feel that men are discounted because I feel like, because I can get my shit rock. Aaron, just listen to this real quick.
Fair.
Yes, I can get my shit rock hard, right?
Don't worry about me.
Yeah, I pump, and I bust, right? Because I have that ability, you like, well, you got hard and you came. And I'm like, yeah, but you ain't really do shit.
You take it for granted. Yeah.
All you did was rub it.
I can't.
Yeah,
I
like,
mean, to be honest with you, some people are not even doing that. Like, even that idea of like all you did was rub it. There are people who are like, I'll lie here
They're called.
and let you do something.
What
to
are they
me.
called?
I know I've heard people call them pillow princesses.
Thank you.
You heard that before?
starfish.
Starfish.
Because they just lay there like.
Is that the visual?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
That's what
Never
they're
heard
called.
that
They're called
before.
starfish.
Wow.
And
They
pillow
got
princesses.
terrible modes.
I'm
It's
not
just
gonna
a.
lie.
But I would argue that if all you're doing is laying there during sex as a woman, you're also probably not that into sex.
When
Like-
I just started having sex,
Yeah.
I was not into
'Cause
it.
that just means that you think it's like
lie.
just let somebody be in you and then let them not be in you once they're done. But that's not really
That's
Nah, some
not
girls are
sexy.
insecure,
That's-
too.
This sounds like male dominance.
Some girls are insecure.
right.
Some girls are very insecure during sex too.
yes.
About,
And
like,
it's-
about what?
Just about how they have sex because they don't want to be judged if they're having sex bad. Right? I've had sex with women who were scared to get on top because
Yeah.
she's like, I don't
I don't
First
know
of
how
all,
to ride. I don't know how to.
I don't know how
be
to ride.
performative.
Some
You
women
better rub this belly.
some women don't women also don't want to get on top because they're so insecure in their bodies they don't want
They
to
don't
be
wanna be
stared
seen.
at. So it's like there's a lot of other reasons why women are pillow princesses than just not being into sex. It's all not all, but it's also within themselves.
Is that not a version of not really being into sex? If I'm so self-conscious about my body that I can't change positions, that I can't turn the lights on, that you can't touch a certain part of me without me going, right? Like
No,
it
that's
becomes-
dramatic.
But that's a sex issue. Like that's not an issue with sex. If I'm like, I just gotta lay right here like this. And then you do whatever you want. Like you do whatever you want.
No,
we good
no.
as
It's
long
kind
as
of
no,
just
no, I
like
wanna
you
add-
take control because I don't really know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Well,
Yes.
I'm
this is
still
the
coming,
only-
but I'm just laying here.
Exactly.
Okay,
Like-
I was
She
just
probably
telling
not.
Aaron, I
Right,
used to
let's
be
say.
a
But
pillow
she's
princess.
probably not, but let's say she faked it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's like all I knew for a certain point in my life was non-orgasmic sex. Right? So that is the younger version of my good girl story. Was everybody saying sex is scary, men are bad, watch out, be careful, they'll hurt you, they'll cheat. And then all of a sudden going, okay, now enjoy. And it's like, where did I learn how to do anything pleasurable here? Because all I've been doing is running away from men, grabbing me on the street and saying stuff to me and trying to be like, well, I'm not that type of girl. And I'm not a hoe. And I'm not a slut. All through high school, right? And I make it out of high school. And I'm like, am I a hoe?
And now you
Am I a hoe now?
Am I a hoe? Am I just like, because then desire.
Am I the hoe?
Is it me? Right. Like, because then all of a sudden you realize, what have you even been judging? what have you even been judging? That somebody was attracted to somebody and actually
This
was
is
open
natural.
about it?
Exactly.
And then it starts to be like, now you're a grown woman who can either decide to go like this pious route of like, find you a man so you can have sex with that man, make him your husband, have some children, and maybe you never enjoy sex, right? But if you find a journey of like, what do I like?
Yeah.
Right? You're going to end up feeling a little bit
Like
like
a hoe. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, wait,
You've been there.
hold on,
We
guys.
some hoes.
Wait. Hold on, guys.
We have, remember Unique Brooks, everybody?
Yeah,
Of
she's
course.
Oh, wow. Welcome back, Unique.
Unique.
Back. Okay,
Anybody
Unique
know
I'm
said,
mad Unique left, so we gotta talk. Unique. First of all, you got some work to do.
Unique, you gotta speak to Rico. But Unique says, do y'all believe that the best pleasurable sex comes from the trust bond?
No? Fuck no.
I think that the best pleasurable sex comes from someone that knows what they're doing.
It
Knows
just,
how to
honestly, it
pick the
just
right
comes with
spots.
that's from a woman's perspective. From a men's, like, the best sex just comes with just you, like, as a man, I could feel when you giving me all of you. And it's like, I could do whatever I want, and you're into all of it, right? Versus me just trying to figure out and trying to learn how to caress you. Like, there's some people that you have sex with where your sex language is their sex language. Off rip.
Yeah.
Right? And that
Like
is
dancing.
it's like dance is like, you might like this and I might like that,
It's
but as soon
1s
as we
and
get
3s,
together,
2s
we
and 4s.
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's
That's
the
actually a
best
really-
one. Like,
That's a really good
then, you know,
analogy.
But then that's the thing, is that I think there's the reason why we talk about sort of the difference between men and women a lot is because men a lot of times are having what we would consider embodied sex. Sex that's about what they're feeling in their body at the moment and whatever that feels like as it's happening a lot. Right? Embodied, right? Now, you can have sex. It doesn't mean that you're experiencing it out of your head. Right. And so I might have a plan. Like, I'm like, I want this dude to love me. So I'm going to have sex with him. And then during the pillow talk, he's going to be real open. Right. There might be something in it for me. Right. But that's not the same as saying that I actually experienced each and every sensation as something I wanted in that experience. And I think a lot of us are not in our bodies to begin with. Right. So it's like, we're not starting from a place that's comfortable. We're just not starting from a place that's comfortable. Like a lot of us are really busy, for example. And at work, you need to move faster than you were able to feel, right? So if you come home at the end of the day and you don't sit down and unwind for a second and somebody just jumps all over you. Yeah, like, I'm not necessarily in this right now. I'm kind
That's
of like
the wrong time.
half
right?
out my job, half just walking in the door trying to figure out what's going on with the mess. Like, there's a lot that could be happening internally. But when we turn it down, that's really what connected sex usually comes from, right? Is that we're not thinking about anything except for what do we like right now in this moment. And if you can have two people share that kind of experience where we're both in our bodies, because you can feel another person's body if you're sleeping with them, right? So if they don't like something, you'll feel them kind of do something, as opposed to if they do, which you'll feel something else, right? That's communication.
Here's a question that we've always said on 8 at the table, and this is still a question that's not answered. In that same scenario, you just came home, you're halfway home from work, halfway home stressed, and everything else. Come home to your man, and let's say your man gives you something that you really like it's really good, right?
Okay.
So when you walk in,
like sexual wise,
sex-wise, I'm
Okay.
talking about.
Oh, I was gonna say like a gift, or
Wow, look how that got
women
this.
were like, I really like it. So
Right? No, but let's just say that it's gonna be
Now we gotta
good.
fuck.
You walk in, you like it's gonna be good. You walk in the same exact scenario, and he's like, "Yo, I got that thing for you. Come here, girl." You're not gonna feel that you want it because it's good.
no, I mean, it's like asking if you want food when you're full.
I
You
think
know what
that
I mean?
guys
Like,
just think that
sometimes-
they're
Damn.
sexier than they really
that was a
are.
bomb.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
What? It's like asking if you want food when you're full,
I
right?
think that
I
is an
wanna eat.
analogy that says like you asking me to have sex when I'm satisfied already.
Right, because there is no longing for sex right now. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm waking up in the morning and I'm hungry for food and I eat, then great, right? But if out of nowhere you're just like, want some food? Like, I don't
No.
I
I'm
don't
not
have a
saying.
relationship with food like that, where just because I see food, I want food. That's just me and food,
So
right?
Mhm.
That's me and sex too.
I'm coming in from the
I was about to say,
opposite
that's
way,
me and
right?
sex.
That's me
You
and
gonna
sex.
throw
'Cause
it
I
at
know
me.
some
Hey,
people
I'ma
who
take
do
it.
have that relationship with food. It's just not me.
But what
You
I'm saying
know?
is like
Yeah.
on
That's
the
called
opposite
greed.
way, if a man comes home and he's going through that
Greedy.
scenario and she's like, let me ride that thing. And he knows that she really knows how to ride that thing. Like, come here, girl.
He can switch modes. You
Yeah.
saying
Like he's just like, because
He can get
if
hungry.
she doesn't know how to ride,
he can get hungry.
if
'cause
she
he
doesn't
smells
know
the
how to
food, sure.
ride, and
Wait.
she said, let me ride that
No.
thing.
Rico said that's not what you said.
Very loud.
What did I say?
Jesus.
You said if you are concerned about bills and
Ooh,
grinding and building and
sure
whatever,
did.
you definitely are not thinking like she could be like, I want to ride you. You're like, I'm not.
Wait, when did I say this?
Oh wow, he doesn't even remember. It was such a different.
Yeah, we
I
were
could check
talking
tape.
about
Different
like
conversation.
I don't remember the whole the
paying
main
the bills, the
topic.
cell phone,
Oh,
cell
no,
phone
yeah.
situation.
But
Oh, I was
Oh,
about to
yeah.
say another.
Wait,
episode.
time
I
out.
was like, because I
That's-
didn't hear him say that either.
I'm gonna say, what?
No, he did say, but
But
I
that was
watched
a-
it
but
it's
that-
not connected
but
to what I'm
that's-
trying to say.
but
What I'm
that's
trying to
different.
say is
No,
what Chantal was saying.
Hold on, one voice.
All right, 1 second, Marie, hold on.
One voice.
What I'm trying to say is connected to what Chantel said, and this has really been, I'm serious, like a real mission.
Mhm.
Skill versus thing.
Wait, what's thing?
Like
Right, that's
skills
important.
versus learning, or I don't know the other word of skills.
Like
If
something
I
just-
know
You're
my
on the
girl,
mic, so you have to make sense.
yeah. If I know my girl, that was a good one. If I know my girl knows how to ride, I mean, she does a good job at it. She's skillful at it.
Mhm.
I don't care if I'm in the, I might just, come on.
Nope.
But if I know she's a 50-50, some days she's
Not
good.
a 50-50.
It's
sure.
true. That
It's
happens in
It's a
sex.
real.
She could
real
be a hit or
situation.
miss. There's days she could ride good, and there's days she can't ride good. That's just
Nope.
that's not my scenario. That's not my situation. But I'm just saying. She might say, "Let me
You're
ride."
good. You're good.
She might say, "Let me ride it," and I might be like, "Nah, just chill, because I got a lot of shit going on right now. We'll do that later."
Nope.
Is that the same for women?
Nope, because I'm gonna circle right back to what Chantel said, and right back to what Rico said. It's like if you have a lot of life stressors going on, whether you are male or female, right? Rico's like, I don't care how good the box is. If I'm worried about what I got to do tomorrow, I got to worry about bills and I got to worry about getting paid and I got to worry about making this money. Like my mind isn't on that box. I'm grinding.
It's in a different place. yeah.
Right. And it's exactly what she said. She said, if I walk into the door and I have so many other things going on, right? My first thing, it could have been the best orgasmic sex of my life, but I have so many other stressors in my life right now. That's not what I'm thinking about.
I don't know. That's weird too.
Wait,
I could be.
wait. Listen, how about this? I think that when you've been with somebody for a while, your partner should understand when you come in the house that, nah, this ain't the time. I can already tell how she threw them shoes off, the way you come in the house huffing and puffing, the way you slam the door, because like
The way you already complaining about how messy the kitchen is.
Exactly. So
It's
I
not
think,
the mood. This ain't the mood.
I think
Sure.
you have to either one, really know your partner like that, or like look at cues. Like if you come in the house complaining or already on the phone, like still dealing with work, I'm not gonna be in your face about like, let's fuck. No, like go take a bathroom break, take your clothes off, relax, kick your feet up, like before I'm in your face about anything, to be honest. Like nothing. Cause like when I get home, don't ask me nothing. Just let me have I just need 1 hour to myself.
A lot of people are like
I feel
that.
like I do agree with all of that. I feel like you got to know the social cues. You can't just be up in your partner's face about some like, trying to have sex. So even though you might come home with all of these like whatevers, even if your partner does give you a second to decompress or get your mind together or, shake off whatever, happened at work today, you should be able to go to your partner and be like, baby, I had a long day.
Yeah.
Like I'm really just trying to lay it on you tonight right now because that's all I want right now. Like I just had a bad
Yeah.
day.
But I think that's the right order. Like if you come
Mhm.
home and you want to have sex, fine. Right? If I come home and you want me to have sex, it's a little weird because it's like I just got here and
Not in
you
like-
don't even
but
know
no.
where I'm you don't even know where I'm coming from. Like
But no,
you've been chilling in the
not
house.
even in
I don't
like
know
That's
a-
kind of
where-
crazy.
not even like in a pressuring way though, but what if it's in like a comforting way? Like you seem like you
just
had
got here.
a long
Right,
day at
like,
What are we
work.
doing?
Can we sit down? But I mean, it's like it's not
That's
bad if
funny.
it's what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think that it can lead to feeling misunderstood. If somebody thinks like I want sex, but I really want to just relax and watch a movie first, right? Then it's like, damn, now I got to reject you for sex before I can watch a movie.
I
which
think
is
you
not a
guys are
good place
thinking
to
about it
start.
as in like in a pressuring way. Not a pressuring way as but
I think
like
you don't have no real life stress.
no, I'm not saying
She's
that.
24. Like,
Well,
what the
well,
fuck
here's the thing is
That
that
doesn't
I
have to
agree
be
with what
the
Amanda
no.
is
That it
saying,
doesn't
though.
have to be the case. But I'm just saying, like, what if your partner like just wants to kiss on you or just like love on you in a comforting way because they see that you look so stressful?
That's not sex.
I get
That's
right.
called
That's affection. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
There we go.
went to
I
Columbia.
mean, the affection that leads to sex in a way that says, like, all right, like, baby, I'm trying to love on you right now. Like,
Yeah.
Like the
the thing
massage.
is, like, I'll be honest.
yeah,
I've never had.
something that leads to sex.
Scammy.
Oh my god.
I know. I was gonna say. It feels like.
Let me rub you and maybe
Let me
we'll
give you a
fuck.
massage real quick.
Like, I'm not gonna lie,
You know
right?
how it ends.
This
If
is
I,
why we schedule sex
See?
because we don't like the sneaky. This is gonna turn into sex, but you didn't know it because I
Yeah.
just wanted some sex. Mm-mm.
Scammy sex.
if I
Scammy
went,
sex.
if I went with the
Everything is a
narrative,
scam to her.
if
She
I-
can't be trusted.
I'm married to a Jamaican.
Gotta do it. But
Oh, hell, my
okay,
daddy
so so the thing I would say is if I had whatever life situations going on and I'm stressed, right? Hypothetically speaking. And the problem with me and why I say what I say, Marie, why I can't think about sex and bills and basically being in survival mode at the same time is because I never had a relationship with the woman that I lived with, especially, where it was just to pleasure me. So if a woman came home and said, yo, I know you stressed, let me just top you and bust in my mouth and then go about your day, that's a different scenario. But, and rightfully so, she said, just, I want to have sex. If you nut first, I don't really care about getting my orgasm off. I'd probably be like, sign me up. But every time I have sex, I got to perform.
It's a duty.
Yeah, it's a duty. And I'm like, and we already know the stats on how fast a man nut opposed to how fast a woman nut. So I'm like, I don't feel like performing right now. So for a man, it's probably, in my opinion, more performing than it is for a woman, right? So I don't have the energy to perform all the time, but I have the energy to bust a nut. That's different,
And
I would argue that for women, it's almost exclusively that experience that a lot of women are orgasming via masturbation, right?
I was about
No,
to say,
but
no one is relying on
and they
you.
are performing sex. Like it's not.
No.
It's a younger person's game at first most of the time. But I'm gonna be honest with you. If you look, like Google did a thing where they put out research on what people were Googling. Most men were looking to see what the average dick size was when it relates to sex. That's what they wanted to know.
What?
Most women were looking on how to pleasure men.
I
That
wouldn't-
was their top
They
Google
need to
search
look at
about
that a lot more.
sex.
They need to look at what color those people
I mean,
are.
because people want to. A lot of people are looking. A lot of people, like even when you look at therapists, right? People will look at a male therapist and think somehow he's more credible, even if he's not more trained or more experienced. Because people want to know what men think. We care what men think. Men care what men think. Women care what men think. So it's like this idea that men are performing more when it's like everything people are doing a lot of times is a performance for men, even other men. Right? It's like you can't imagine that sex is the one space where it's like, but men are just they're only doing it for women, just right there in that one spot.
No,
in the
no,
world.
no,
They're
it's
just
not-
all
it's
about
not
their
that men
pleasure.
are doing it for women. I think
Yeah.
we're going somewhere and we're getting to that place that we're trying to get. What we're trying to say is more like this. Sometimes
That did
women,
sound funny.
women are like, I got good pussy. And it's
And
true.
you don't.
Sometimes a lot of y'all got good pussy.
Not a lot.
And sometimes you in it and it's really good. So as a man, when you go in it, it's so good. But after you've been in it for a while, you kind of like, and I'm not, there's no negativity in anything that I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
Sometimes you be
That's
in
what it
it
is.
for a while, then it's just like, can you do something too? Like, do I always have to do everything? And then she's like, I got good pussy. That's my entitlement.
Wait, Alan. So this is a thing. I
That's my
think
entitlement. It's
think-
hilarious.
it's actually ridiculous. I think
I got
one
that
thing
wild.
is that a lot of people are not having the difficult conversations about what is pleasurable in sex. Obviously, men and women don't find the same things to be pleasurable, right? And a lot of people are not having the conversation. So if you fail to have the conversation, how on earth do you expect a woman to perform for you? how does that flies around here? How does a man or
But how do I perform for you without a conversation? You don't need to converse with me to perform. I come expected to perform.
Well, I mean, if
But
you
be
expect to
going ring
perform
around the
well,
Rosie going nowhere.
if you expect to perform well, then you should be communicating.
Okay, thank you. That's what it is.
We can all
going
perform with no
nowhere.
direction.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
So,
Let's get a super chat real
yeah,
quick.
so I'm gonna read Unique Brooks' super chat. It actually kind of relates to what we're talking about. She says that stimulating the mind is what gets me going. Then the physical attributes. If it's not in that order, I'm not feeling it.
In that order.
Yep.
Yes.
Mama
But you know
D.
what they say that they call it a sexual script. And so most of us are actually introduced to sex in a particular way where something comes first and then something comes next and then something comes next. So like some people will be like, I don't want to talk about it. For example, like I just want you to touch me, right? And that's how I want to initiate sex. I don't want to talk first. Because in their script, the way that it works is first we have affection, right? And then we have sex.
As
Some
we're
people,
going, then we'll
then
start.
we'll continue right to build
Yeah.
the physical affection. Other people are like, talk to me first, stimulate my mind first, right? I want to text throughout the day. I want to dirty talk, like things like that, right? But each of us has our own unique script of what makes us feel comfortable going to the next part of the script. And so some people, and I know women who are addicted to sex, right? Who would have sex immediately upon coming home with
Those are
anybody,
good girls.
right? Well, no, they'll cheat on you, but they'll
a
have good
fact.
sex with you at the same time, mess your life up. And I mean, I think the hard part is, right, is that the reason why people sort of talk about chemistry and things like that is because what they really want is for their partner to be like a mind reader, right? Like my preferences are going to change and then you're going to change because like I changed. And it's like, how would I know what you like today versus what you liked yesterday unless we have some vehicle to talk about it? And that's why it's like, if you want to try to introduce the idea of one of the things about pleasure mapping that I often tell people as a rule is that you can't actually have sex during it. You just have to explore pleasure, which is, I know, look, you look like, why are we doing it then, right?
Facts.
But part of the reason is because a lot of people think that that's what sex is, right? So a lot of women would go, my pussy's good, so you're having pleasure right now. And that's not true.
Nah, because I
Right?
like your mouth.
There's a lot of other ways, right? And so that's also not necessarily sex, right? So if we play with toys, that's not sex. If we play with temperature, that's not sex. Holding, pressure, all sorts of different things can come in. And so I've never, for example, things that I've tried for the first time during my own pleasure mapping was like hot wax. Did I know if I liked it? No, but I wanted to know if I liked it without it being like, this has to be sexy. You have to be ready to have sex after this. It's like, so let's try something else, right? If I like massage and I want to try a different type of massage, but I don't want it to be 5 minutes of massage and then we get to sex because that's really what the massage was about.
Scam massage.
Scab massage. Then we have to be honest about the fact that this is about something else right now.
You're going somewhere deep right now.
I want to
So
know
you
what is
saying
pleasure
after this, I
mapping.
get no
'cause
ass?
I've heard pleasure mapping 6 times, and I don't know what.
So let me tell you,
Hold on,
so you could do
Before
it.
you start pleasure mapping, can you give everybody your credentials so that
So
we
yeah.
got real legit people on here?
So I do somatic therapy, which means that I work with people who have issues in their body because of trauma and because of things that they've been through to feel better, like physically feel better with themselves. So like anger, you could feel your heart racing, you could feel your body, your fist getting tight. I try to work on that physical reaction so it's not there anymore, right? So I've worked with people who have not felt anything during sex to working with them to a point where now they feel everything and love sex and have orgasmic sex every single time, right? And it's not about because we worked on the sex. It's because it's their connection with their own body, their trust in another partner, and how open they can be in that process of having sex. People who have sex performatively have bad sex, period. Like if you are in there thinking, well, what do they want? We're kind of in the wrong place. You can ask questions, and I think naturally it's like dancing, right? Like if something happens and you're confused all of a sudden, you're like, I thought we was, what you doing, right? You just say it, right? And so my favorite metaphor around it is like if you were to jam with somebody, like if you're going to be in a band and you just sort of like had a musical jam session going, there should be no pressure on that, right? Like we just out here playing around, having fun. So if I say you want to join and you don't, that's okay, right? And if that's why pleasure mapping takes it off the table, because a lot of people, if I say I want to have sex and you don't, a lot of times it creates sort of a feeling of rejection. And that's worse than not doing anything at all.
Yeah, there was war in my house.
Yeah.
What? I was told no. One time I ain't talked to you for 2 days. You bugging. You know what I'm saying?
I
You
mean,
serious?
I know a woman,
All right, it's day 2. We good.
but I know
Do you
people who have said
apologize?
things that are like, "Are you
Crazy as
gay
hell.
because you don't want to have sex with me right now?" You know, like,
Wait, that's what girls said to guys?
yeah, that people have been like, "Are you gay? Is that why you don't want to sleep with me? Is that the issue?" Right?
That's
That people-
crazy.
People say degrading stuff to people when they're just not in the mood to do stuff, and that's why I'm like, it may not seem like a pressure situation, but we all have history with sex, and either we have a history of like our mom slamming the door because she caught us masturbating or being like, "Don't say those words, don't be that girl," or we have a history with it where we've had sex, but there's no guarantee that we knew what the hell we were doing. You know, so it's like it could have been bad, it could have been good. So a lot of this is just saying we can have sex afterwards, but for an hour, instead of thinking about orgasms, can we think about pleasure?